Hi everyone, my name is Keith Gerein and I am a columnist with the Edmonton Journal. If you have looked outside your window, you will have noted that winter has arrived with a fury in Edmonton. And for those of us going to the soccer games at Commonwealth Stadium, we hope these icy conditions are a big advantage to our men's national team against their opponents. But once those games are over, the arrival of winter is a big concern because we have a major shortage of shelter spaces for our homeless population in Edmonton right now. A little context is that Edmonton was actually doing pretty well on addressing homelessness in recent years. The numbers were down something like 45%. But the pandemic has changed all of that. Officials now estimate there's something like 2,800 people experiencing homelessness in Edmonton, and about 1,200 of those are going to need emergency shelter accommodation most nights this winter. That's a big number. So how are we going to accommodate it? The shelter providers, the traditional providers, have room for only about half of those people. So there are some contingencies being developed, some temporary facilities that are being extended, some new facilities that could open temporarily, small facilities, and we may even house some people at Commonwealth Stadium this winter. Provincial funding is needed for all of that, but even if that comes together, there still could be 200 or 300 people on some nights who do not have a warm, safe place to go. So that's a big, big problem. Now, City Council held a meeting about this on Tuesday, and while nothing was resolved, it did give councillors a chance to kind of vent, and they vented at the provincial government at what they see as a slow, slapdash, last-minute response that is even being put into place after the snow has already arrived. And they feel that the province has just been too concerned with saving money and not putting enough effort into actually alleviating a crisis. Now, we'll see what happens Wednesday. The provincial government and Premier Jason Kenney have scheduled a press conference at the Hope Mission, and hopefully all the concerns will be alleviated at that point, and the province will come forward with a robust amount of funding and some contingency planning so that we do avoid a crisis this winter. Now, long-term, we need a totally different approach to this. We need far more strategic planning, well ahead of time, identifying funding, identifying facilities, so that Edmonton's homeless population has a place to go, and we know that well ahead of time. But then more permanently, we also need investments in housing, and this is where the provincial government has really failed. They've been more interested in throwing money at the shelter system rather than into social housing, which would provide more permanent solutions. And until those investments start coming forward, I fear that we're going to be having this crisis and this conversation year after year at this time. My name is Keith Gerein. Keep watching this space for more updates on municipal politics and my columns. Thanks for listening.